like to welcome everybody to our discussion of the Book of Mormon today. We'll be talking about the contents and the structure of the Book of Mormon. My name is Andy Hedges, and I'm joined with my colleagues Keith Wilson, Todd Parker, and Steve Harper. We teach in religious education at Brigham Young University. Brethren, what we're going to talk about today, we'd like to provide a comprehensive overview kind of the structure of the Book of Mormon. The plates, as you read the Book of Mormon, there are numerous plates that are mentioned in there, and Mormon gives some pretty specific details about how he puts the Book of Mormon together and what his sources are and things like that. But it can be very confusing when you try to put it all together in your own mind. And so it would be very helpful for all of us, I think, to just kind of lay it out literally on the table and see what we've got here. Todd, could I turn it over to you? You seem to have obtained some permissions and have some plates here for us.
Help me set those up. In the Book of Mormon, the front pages aren't numbered, but 2 pages prior to 1 Nephi, there's a page that says a brief explanation about the Book of Mormon. It lists the plates that we've got depicted here. And so what we want to do is what I'd like to do is just ask the question, which plates did Joseph Smith actually take with him from the hill? I think a lot of people may find that a little confusing. And the plates Joseph actually took from the hill are the plates of Mormon, or the gold plates, with the small plates attached to them. He didn't have these other plates. He didn't have the plates of brass or the large plates or the plates of ether with them. So just to kind of explain what you see on this page here, the brass plates are the ones that they went back to get in Jerusalem, and Laban lost his head over. And so then the small plates the large plates were made first, right after they arrived in the Promised Land about 590 BC. 20 years later, then the Lord said, make another set of plates, and Nephi made the small plates. The plates of ether come in later in the narrative. We find out that this is about the Jaredite civilization, that is the earliest civilization. They kept a record, and then it was found by the people of Limhi, then brought back to Mosiah II, and then passed down. So if I were Mormon then, I would have all of these plates, and these would have come down through time. Mormon was born around 300, 310 AD, and he makes his own set of the plates of Mormon that he talks about in the record. So these are the plates of Mormon, are the gold plates. And so how our record is put together today is Mormon on his plates makes an abridgment or a summary of mainly from the large plates. He abridges the large plates. He said he puts 1/100th part of what's on the large plates onto the gold plates. Then in 385, when the last battle happens and he's ready to hand the record over to his son Moroni, the Lord says, I want you to attach the small plates to the gold plates. And so there's a record called the Words of Mormon, and that's just his explanation in between the plates of Mormon and the small plates of why he's attaching them. So then, as Joseph, and for our purposes, we'll put the small plates on the bottom, Joseph starts to translate this record, and he's translating from the gold plates, which is an abridgment from the large, starts with Lehi in 600 BC, and it goes down from 600 to 130 to the time of King Benjamin. Through some events we'll explain a little bit about later, that gets stolen, and Joseph's beside himself. The Lord says, don't retranslate this. Some evil people have stolen that. They think you'll retranslate it. They've altered it. When you bring it forth, they'll show they don't match, and they'll make you look like a fraud. He said, but I planned for this. This is what happens when you're dealing with an omniscient being. He says, I had Nephi make a second record, and guess what? It covers the same period of time. This goes from Lehi down to Benjamin from 600 to 130 BC, and so you use that and replace what was stolen. So in our book today, we have the first part of the Book of Mormon. First Nephi goes from First Nephi down to Omni. That's first person directly from the small plates, And then you have the Words of Mormon. If you look at the bottom of the last page of Omni, it's 130 BC. Then you look at the Words of Mormon, it's 385 AD. And then the first page of the Book of Mosiah is 130 BC again. So this is 500 years out of context, just explaining why he put them together. So then you've got that explanation here. And then over here, if you look at the listing of books, from 1st Nephi down to Omni, that's a direct translation from the small plates. Then you've got the Words of Mormon written in 385 AD. Then from Mosiah down to 4th Nephi is Mormon's abridgment of the large plates. Then the Book of Mormon is Mormon adding a little more, gives the record to his son Moroni. Then the Book of Ether is Moroni summarizing the plates of Ether. And then Moroni adds his little bit. And then that ends the record. So I think a way, if you don't have all these boxes, to help you see it, is if you go in your Book of Mormon to the Book of Omni, and maybe the brethren here could do the same thing, Jacobinus Jerem Omni, it's on page 140, and you hold that in your left hand. Let's see, we'd go up to page 142. Leave the Words of Mormon there, and then hold the rest in your right hand. Brethren, what have we got in our left hand there from 1st Nephi to Omni?
Joseph's translation of the small plates of Nephi.
Direct translation in its first person. I Nephi, I Jacob, I Enos, I Jerem. Now what have you got in your right hand?
Got Joseph's translation of Mormon's abridgment of the large plates.
Of the large plates. And it's in third person. So he's saying King Benjamin did this or whatever. And then what is that one page in the middle?
That's Mormon's connective tissue of the two
that's the bridge
that's
between these. Now, one thing I might add just before we move the plates, the plates of brass that they went back to Jerusalem to get, Joseph didn't have, but some of that was copied onto the small plates. That's where we get the Isaiah chapters and also the allegory of the tame and the wild olive trees came from here, and the writings of Zenock and Zenos came from here. So that's just a big picture, and then I think we'll go back and talk about each set of plates and the time periods they cover.
So just to clarify, Mormon never abridges the small plates. He attaches them, as near as we can tell, bodily to his abridgment.
They're attached to the plates of Mormon or the gold plates.
And they cover the same period of time that the first part of Mormon's abridgment of the large plates covers.
Yeah, the 116 handwritten pages that were stolen,
right?
It covers that same period of time. Because the Lord, Enos prayed and worried that something had happened. The Lord promised Enos that we'd have the record. And so the Lord, to keep his promise to him and others, inspired Nephi. He had already started the large plates. 20 years later, he says, now make another record. And you can't just go down to the store and buy plates. This is a big deal. And he says, well, I'll do it. It's for a wise purpose. And he didn't know what the purpose was. So he made the second set, and that has the religious information. And that replaced the abridgment of the historical one. And in section 10 of the Doctrine and Covenants, the Lord says, basically, your replacement is better than what they stole.